we sitting here, I supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
Well, Coach,
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice. I know I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside, you know, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We talking about practice, man. We talking about practice. We talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game.
What's up, Buff Nation? I thought about doing this video as I was listening to the videos of the week that they were posting. Well Off, Reach the People, and the pregame show. And I started off this video with Allen Iverson and a rant he made when he was at the top of his game in the NBA. As you listen to it, he said he was the franchise player. He was in an interview, and the media wanted to talk to him about some things that were away from the game. And at the time, Allen Iverson felt as though he didn't want to hear that. Now let's look at what he said again during this interview. He says he knows that practice is important because from a work ethic standpoint, he was starting to slack off. He was starting to feel himself because he was one of the top players in the league, an NBA All-Star. And much like his attitude was, I think Coach Prime saw that attitude seeping into his team and into the locker room after the UCF win and then the 2 weeks off. That's a dangerous combination. You come back against, in your first Big 12 matchup, you beat Baylor in one of the most epic comebacks and wins in Colorado, let's just say in recent Colorado history, given their wins and loss record. And then you go on the road to Orlando, University of Central Florida, and beat the brakes off of them in their backyard. And now you have 2 weeks off before you play a Kansas State team and one of your former players in Dylan Edwards. And for 2 weeks, all you're hearing about is how great you are. And then you're starting to think, you start to believe the hype. And now you don't think you have to work as hard to get what you have anymore. I told a young man who was about to earn an opportunity, or who had earned an opportunity to play at the next level. I said, listen here, young man, the things you did to earn that scholarship opportunity, to earn that scholarship offer, are the same things you're going to have to do to keep it when you get to where you're going. Don't ever forget that. Don't get down there and lose sight of what it took, of the sacrifices not only you made, but those who invested in you made also, to get you where you are. Those same sacrifices and much more is going to be required to keep that scholarship and to keep that opportunity always before you. You get down there and you start feeling yourself like Colorado was doing, because Coach Prime was doing some videos during the week, and he kept mentioning practice habits and how guys aren't going all out in practice. They had a Zoom call with D-Mac, and D-Mac was at, Coach Prime was trying to explain to his team, because he saw it coming. He saw it coming. He was trying to explain to his team, hey, look, guys, the way y'all practicing, this is the way y'all going to play. This is how it's going to look when on Saturday. This is how it's going to look. But the kids today, and even myself, when I was at that age, it's called waiting to listen. You can listen on the front end and overcome, any potential obstacles, or you can listen on the back end and then watch it all unfold before your very eyes. And now, unfortunately, this is what it's going to take for Colorado to get back on track, because they thought way too much of themselves. And you can see it by the way they played last night. They weren't tackling. The tackling was poor. The run support was poor. And I mean, come on, guys. Y'all hadn't given up 100 yards to a back all season, and then you almost give up 200 to one dude in one game. Now, he's probably good. He's probably legit. Giddens, he looks like the real deal. So y'all wasn't playing against one of the average guys y'all gonna see this year. I mean, that may be, if there's a running back better than him that y'all gonna see in the Big 12 or the playoffs, oh my goodness. Y'all better tighten up. Y'all better have the practice. Y'all better start practicing the way Coach Prime and the staff have been asking you all to practice. D-Mac, back to D-Mac and the Zoom call. D-Mac said, Coach Prime asked D-Mac, hey man, what the practice is like? He said, man, we practice like it's a game. Every play, man, in practice, it's a game. It's like a game. Now, the guys were sitting there listening to that. They're like, oh, man, you want us to go that hard? Exactly. So it's practice is about muscle memory. It's about muscle memory, guys. If you practice all week going full tilt, what do you think you're going to do in the game? You think you're going to slack off? Take it from me. Guys, I didn't get the opportunity that I could have had my practice habits would have been stellar, would have been off the chain. I thought when the lights came on, I'm going to turn it on. But the problem with that is on film, when you taking plays off in practice, you're going to take plays off in the game. And I know you in your heart and your mind, you say, I'll never do that to my teammate. But you will. It's just going to be at a moment in the game when you just going to hit that love. Like you did in that very same moment in practice. You're going to hit that love. And when coaches are telling you all that you're not bringing it, don't sit there and try to reevaluate yourself or self-evaluate and think, well, maybe they're not looking at me the way they should be. Or maybe I am going hard. No, you're not. That's why they're telling you. That's why they got film. Well, guys, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope you all learned a valuable lesson, because the tragedy of that game last night, guys, was this. Amidst all the injuries that y'all had, amidst all the people that went out the game, you all had the talent waiting to play, waiting to get in the game, and performed to some degree, and perform well enough for you all to have won that game. But you didn't have the week of practice that you should have had to overcome your own mistakes. If you would have practiced the way Coach Prime and the staff desired, you all wouldn't have been in a position to need a pass interference call late in that game. That's what the importance of practicing the right way is. And I hope y'all remember that throughout the rest of the season, guys. Remember D-Mac. Man, we practice every play like it is a game. Take that with you, guys. Take that with you the rest of the season. Because if you put yourselves back in this position again, it's your own fault. Ultimately, it all falls on you. It all falls back on you. The coaches can only do so much. The rest is on you. I go back to that recording artist group called Boys to Men. I thought you guys had grown up after that UCF win. I thought you guys had grown up. But it looked like y'all back to square one again, guys. And y'all got to regroup and get it back together. You can only have so many team meetings. Now, if y'all meeting about different stuff, it is what it is. But if it's the same conversation, guys, somebody got to get it through their head, and somebody got to take a leadership role on this team and hold people accountable. It started with the seniors, graduate players, all the guys who going to be gone next year, who not going to be there. Not because of an eligibility issue, but you're going to graduate to the next level. Okay? Take some responsibility, take some accountability, and get this team back on track, guys. Now, what you have done is put the pressure on y'all self to have to run the table. If y'all want to get to where y'all trying to get to, you're going to have to run the table. And it's going to have to look better, a lot better than it did Saturday night. Okay? Well, guys, that's all I have for y'all right now. Hey, I'm still in your corner, guys, but y'all need to listen to your coach, man. Y'all got all of the creature comforts that any college football player could ever imagine. Y'all just need to do it on the field, in practice, when it counts. Y'all thinking it only counts when the lights come on. It counts all week, guys. From the moment you get up and go into class, from the moment you going to get up and going to eat, to study hall, every aspect of the life of a student athlete, every aspect counts, guys. And then it rolls over into your work ethic towards not only school but sports. Come on, guys, get it together, get it right, and figure it out. Don't be like my boy Can't Get Right in that movie Life. You remember Can't Get Right? Well, he eventually got it right because he could knock that ball out the park. But don't let that be your story. Your story can change if you all come together as a team and get it right, guys. Y'all need to play as one because everybody looked like they was playing. I ain't going to say y'all were playing for yourselves, but it looked disjointed. It didn't look right. And I know you all are better than that. I know you all know you're better than that. In spite of all the injuries and the players that went down, y'all still had enough on that roster to make something of that game, and y'all almost did. That should be your North Star. That should be your beacon to let y'all know if you listen to your coaches from here to the end of the season, you'll be in the playoffs. That's all I have, guys. I'm out.
I know I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.